All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Unfortunately, it's official. As with today's loss, the Chicago White Sox have now tied the 1962 New York Mets for the most losses in a single season in the modern era of Major League Baseball. Those Mets from 1962 went 40 and 120. And these White Sox are not just going to eclipse that mark, they are going to shatter it. Okay. You look at it right now, the Southsiders, they are currently 36 and 120, and they've still got 6 games to go on their slate. And honestly, I really don't see this team going 5 and 1 or better over the next 6. Last week we saw the White Sox win 3 games in a row before their current 5 game losing streak, which includes being swept at the hands of the San Diego Padres this weekend. You look at Chicago, and they are a paltry 9 and 49 since the All Star break. The Sox have endured 3 different losing streaks of at least 12 games, which included them losing 21 games at one point, which started just prior to the All Star break in July and carried over to the second half of the season. I've said it before, and I will continue to say it because what Jerry Reinsdorf has allowed to happen to this franchise is not talked about enough, as it is disgusting that Major League Baseball allows a big market franchise like the White Sox to be operated like this. The White Sox have had some lean years here or there. Don't get me wrong, most teams do, but never to this extent, okay? And it's really hard to believe and understand that, hey, the White Sox won 93 games just 3 years ago, and they won the American League Central. We saw this team lose more than 100 games last season. Clearly, it's happened again. And, at the end of the day, this is just simply a season to forget if you're a Chicago White Sox fan. If you want to be optimistic, you can say, hey, in 2003, we saw the Detroit Tigers lose 119 games. 3 years later, they were in the World Series. In 2018, the Baltimore Orioles lost 115 games. And then just in 2019, the Tigers lost 114. And look at both of them now. We saw the Orioles win the American League East last year. They're more than likely going to be a playoff team once again this year. And you look at the Tigers right now, they are right there in the mix for a wild card spot in the AL. So just maybe there's some hope if you are a White Sox fan. But you look at this team, and like I said before, plain and simple, it's a season to forget. The White Sox are near the bottom of baseball in most categories as a team: batting average, hitting, pitching, team ERA, you name it. One of the few bright spots for the White Sox this year has been starting pitcher Garrett Crochet. He has more than 200 strikeouts, but like I said, there's really not a lot of bright spots on this team. Like I said, the season cannot get over or be done with quick enough. I've said it before throughout this season. The White Sox, they're going to make some changes this offseason. I'd hope so. But the biggest change that needs to be made is not coming down the pike. And that's the fact that they simply just need some new blood at the ownership position. And of course, Jerry Reinsdorf, he can say whatever he wants publicly. He don't care about this team. He really doesn't. And I think it's a huge slap in the face to the great people of Chicago, the great sports fans in that great sports city, that this is the product that is being put out there on the baseball diamond, and you really expect people to pay. It ain't happening. I know you've heard rumors, excuse me, about the Reinsdorf possibly looking to move the White Sox, and I think it's a crying shame if that were to happen. I doubt it does. But nonetheless, the way that this team has been and has been allowed to operate is not very good. So you look at Chicago's last 6; they've got 3 at home this week, beginning on Tuesday with the Los Angeles Angels, and then they finish up on the road in Motown against the Tigers. The Tigers got plenty to play for in that series as they're right in the mix for a postseason spot. The Angels, it could be hit or miss, but nonetheless, like I said, this you know a mark that the Mets organization had been stuck with now for about 60 years. They're no longer going to, that organization can no longer say, hey, we had the worst season in the modern era of Major League Baseball, because the White Sox are going to surpass that. And again, what I'm talking about, with the White Sox, is it bad? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's an issue with Major League Baseball in recent years, because you look at some of these loss marks, a lot of them have been occurring in the last couple of years or so. I mean, the White Sox right now, you had the Orioles, like I said, they lost 115 back in 2018. The Tigers lost 114 back in 2019. And then just last year, we saw the Oakland Athletics struggle literally to win 50 games, as they went 50 and 112. But to the A's sake, they have shown a lot more life this season, as clearly they're not going to lose 100 games. So maybe, just maybe, there is some reason to be optimistic if you're a White Sox fan. But nonetheless, a season to forget on the South Side is almost over, and unfortunately for the White Sox, they now will clearly be on the wrong side of history. I don't see them winning 6 games in a row to avoid that mark. Honestly, for what it's worth, at 36 and 120, I doubt they get the 40 wins. So that's something else that the 1962 Mets are going to be off the hook from. Sad state of affairs for one of MLB's oldest franchises, and I can't say it again, or can't say it enough, rather. It's a doggone shame that MLB allows Mr. Reinsdorf to operate this franchise like this. The end of the line is here, and if you're a White Sox fan, there's only one way to go, which is up. 36 wins over an entire MLB season is just unfathomable, that a team could only win that many games. You figure you play 27 games in a season. So that's basically, you took care of your business in April and you took the rest of the year off. That's basically what it accounts to. But nonetheless, the wrong side of the history books for the Chicago White Sox, and hopefully, it's going to get better sooner rather than later. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.